Hello, Pastor Dilaja.
Yes, sir. Who is calling from where, sir?
Yeah, my name is Yinka Mayomi. I'm calling from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada.
All right. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm very fine, sir. And I likewise want to say you've been doing a very wonderful job, sir. And I pray that the Lord will not. You've been saying this over and over again. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We are hearing you.
Hello, sir. But yet, I don't know what is wrong with our people in Nigeria. I just can't really place my hand. I just can't place my hand on what is exactly happening, sir. Yeah, I want to bring this story, sir. Many years back, I was part of Redeem, but I'm no longer part of Redeem.
Okay.
As we speak now, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, because of things that I saw, because of so many things that I saw in the church. I told my wife, I said, it's better that we just stay at home and watch TBN instead of going to churches. Yeah. Because it's really an eyesore, sir. Really an eyesore. Yeah, the church, my last church before I left Redeem, there was a pastor that was brought in from Lagos to come and minister. And then being the zonal head of protocol in that church, they always have first contact with me because I have to go to the airport to pick them, take them to the hotel, and then bring them for ministration in the church. So this particular prophet, while I was after the first day service in the church, and I was taking him back to his hotel. So he now called. He said, "I don't even know who told him I work in National Assembly." He said, "Oh, Brayo, I learned you work in National Assembly. Can you organize all these senators for me so that I'll be praying for them? At least I can have my church in Abuja." And I said, "Well, I work there, but I'm not so close to most of the senators. But I have a friend." Are you with me, Pastor?
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
So I said, I have a friend that is SA2 House Committee Chairman on Security and Intelligence that when we get back to church the following day, I will bring him to meet him so that if there's anything they want to discuss. But he said, no, that I shouldn't do that. That I shouldn't do that, that he's going to tell me how I will go about it. And I said, how? And because where I work, sir, are you with me now?
Yes.
So he said, I shouldn't do that, that what is going to happen is that I should focus on him at the altar where he's sitting. That is going to give me, that he will be looking at me, that I should use style to point my friend to him, that I should not allow my friend to know. And I said, and because where I work, so I work as an intelligence officer, these kind of things, I really want to dig deep into what is really happening. So when we got to church, I was looking at him. Then I now stylishly, because I actually wanted to know what is going to happen, by telling me to stylishly point my friend to him.
Wow.
So I now pointed my friend to him. And while this guy was doing ministration, the next thing he just said, that brother at the back, wearing a red tie.
My God.
As I'm ministering here, the Holy Spirit raised your hand.
Ooh.
You work with lawmakers, and all the women in my church were on the floor rolling. And I was so shocked, as if my head was not on my head anymore.
My God.
I was so shocked, and I was looking at the man like this. And when my friend left, I approached my friend. I said, I've never seen this kind of thing in my life. That this was what this pastor told me yesterday. And I told him that I will bring you to meet with him and see the way he brought you out in front of people.
Wow.
And my friend was really, and I said, if this is what church is coming to, Daddy.
Hello.
I don't want to be part, sir.
Hey, I did hear.
So in my church, sir, in my church, I got so tired of all the gimmicks of all the pastors that I sent I got Pastor Adeboye's number and I sent text to Pastor Adeboye. I copied his 3 numbers and I sent text to him. And I said, Daddy, these people will rubbish everything you've been building. But these days, I'm even surprised with what is coming out of Gio's mouth.
Don't you know that they are learning from their father?
I'm so surprised, sir. I told one of my pastors, I said, Daddy, Pastor Adeboye has deviated from God's call. He has deviated from. I'm not scared of any one of them, sir. All the GOs in Nigeria, I'm not scared of. I'm just so tired of all their gimmicks. When you look at Pastor Oyedepo, sir, you will see ego written all over him. You will see pride. You will see the spirit of mammon reigning in his life, and he's not seeing it.
And his followers are not seeing it.
And the followers, sir, I don't know what is wrong with them, Daddy. I don't know what is wrong with the followers.
And you are now calling me Daddy again. When did it happen to you? You just say Pastor Sunday, that's all, or DSA.
Pastor Sunday, this is really an eyesore. It's really in Canada now, sir. Do you know when sometimes we went to pick people from the airport, like people migrating or coming to Canada, they will tell us they don't want to go to Nigerian churches.
Wow.
A woman approached me in church on Sunday because we had barbecue after the service.
Yes.
And then she said, she said, please, why are you not? Because it's a white church. She was surprised seeing a black guy there. And she said, why don't you go to Winners? I said, I don't go to such places. I don't go. And then she said, why? She was actually trying to bring out something from me. She said, I was in Winners and I had to bring 4 of our people out of Winners. He said, why is the man always preaching about prosperity? This is a white woman. She said, always preaching about prosperity. Always preaching about prosperity, prosperity, prosperity. And there are thousands of people there that are suffering. That Pastor Adelaja, yes. They are suffering. They are suffering. I was on phone with my 78-year-old mom last week. And this woman worked with a local government before she retired, and then she's on 10,000 naira pension or gratuity that they used to give them.
Yes.
And then she said she's still giving 1,000 tithes. I said, anytime you give any money again, if I send money to you again, just call me bastard. You are a widow, you don't have anything, and you are still giving to these people. Daddy.
Yes.
Pastor Adelaja, may God help Nigerians. The first day I saw you online, I said, Lord, I'm sorry, because I know you've been asked. The church that I left that church with serious quarreling.
What in Nigeria?
Yeah, it's a redeemed church because they know the pastor. Because I sometimes I just look at them. There was a day. I had a very lengthy argument with my pastor. My pastor just bought a brand new Benz, and then sometimes anytime we are picking a guest minister from the airport, we have to use any of the church members' cars or new cars or something.
Yeah.
And then he called me this particular day, and there was a particular honorable's wife that were using a car. It's a keyless car, but we've spoiled the key. Because you have to have the key in your pocket to open the door sometimes. So, and then he said I should go and pick somebody. And I said, sir, that we can't use this person's car. Can we use your car? He said, no, nobody should touch his car. I said, but we've been using church members' car, sir. He said, nobody should touch his car. Later, he now said they should call me that at least my car is good. I should go and bring the man. I said, sir, I don't have fuel in my car. Some people were pinching me. I said, nobody should pinch me. I said, I don't have care. He said, can't I do it for the Lord? I said, I don't believe in it. He said, can't I see that people use their car to carry GO? I said, because they believe in it. I don't believe in it. And he now said, I said they must fuel my car for me to go and bring that guest minister. So he now said how much I said they should just give me money that will take me to bring the man. So my point is, I said, sir, this man you are bringing is coming from Ireland. You are going to give him honorarium for coming to preach. We've put him in a hotel. The guy doing all this stuff in church, you are all paying them. Why are you now telling me to use my money to do this stuff? I'm just telling you all the rods, sir, all the rods. And when Pastor Adeboye sent people from the camp to come and investigate this so-called pastor, all the churches were behind him. Instead of them to speak the truth, he brought a man from Ondo State. The man came to my church. And because I have a gift of discernment, I told my wife, I said, this man is coming to our church to raise money. My wife said, he has not handled Mike now. I should allow the man to handle Mike first. I said, this man is coming to raise money. And the man kept shouting, God send me to 52 families in this church. God send me to 52 families in this church. God send me to... At the end of the day, he came with 52 handkerchiefs. Pastor Delaja.
Are you serious?
At the end of the service, he threw those handkerchiefs on the altar, and he said, "For each family coming to pick an handkerchief for grace." I repeat, for grace.
For grace, which is supposed to be for free.
Yes, he said they should come and there is 1 million naira for one handkerchief. If you don't believe me, I will still bring some people that will confirm this.
My God,
the church is in Abuja.
He wants to collect 50 million in one day.
That money, that
50 million for one day.
Pastor Delaja, that day, 8 people came out, 1 million naira to pick handkerchief.
My God.
After that, he started bringing it down. And I noticed my wife. My wife was in the choir. I noticed her walking around, and I told somebody that we were standing together. I said, she's coming to meet me to take permission. And as she was coming, I said, if you near me, if I don't beat you in this church, you let everybody know. Just say I'm a bastard. That was how she turned back.
Because women are the ones they are using. They are mesmerizing women. Please, so I want to beg everybody that is watching this thing to go and share this we have to go and share this testimony. Please, go and look for the share button. Go look for the share button. Get what we go fast. In Nigeria, quick. Yeah, kia. Go and share this thing.
Sir, do you know this man that appointed my friend out that works in National Assembly?
Yes.
We never knew this man has been coming to our church as a visitor. He's been coming with a family to study the church. So one day they just introduced him as a guest minister.
Are you serious?
And the next thing he said, who is water in this church? Everybody started crying. And I look at the man. And then he started saying, who is this? And I just said, is this how the work of God has turned to?
Wow.
It's always about money. It's always about greed. And when this man was leaving Abuja, some people even gave their land. There's a widow in my church. She has a land along the airport road, Abuja. She gave her land. I have a family that gave their car.
My God, oh my God.
I just said, what is happening?
Your eye don't see, oh.
So I've seen. No, I'm no longer in the game. Even when there was a pastor who went to pick. He was posted to Abuja, and the man started shouting, "I'm not in Abuja to look bridges, so I'm here to make my money, oh. I'm here to make my money, oh. I'm here to make my money." I just look at him. See, pastor, where they just carry come.
My God.
They will just come pick from the airport, oh. I'm starting my program on Tuesday. And people in Abuja are begging me not to start my program because there are so many things happening in the church, most especially Redeem. And to some people, when you talk, they think you are attacking the GO. I don't have any respect for them.
I want to just say, Yinka, Brother Yinka, I just want to say thank you so much for obeying God by calling in today. Because this testimony, there is no greater testimony that could confirm the fact that these places are not sorcery. I mean, they are not churches. They are sorcery centers. These people are sorcerers. From the GO to all the pastors, they are sorcerers. They are practicing sorcery in the name of the Lord. They have turned Christianity into sorcery. And that is what they are, of the spirit of their father, Satan. And they are of the spirit of Simon. That Simon that we just read about today, that is the spirit that is operating in them. It's called the spirit of Mammon.
Sir, I've seen a lot. I've seen where a pastor will negotiate with a guest minister, just come, raise fund, take 60, I take 40. And they come to church. There was a particular pastor, my pastor brought again from Lagos. And when he brought the man said, I need 50 people to come and wash themselves in an imaginary pool. He said there's a pool at the altar. You can see the pool of Bethsaida, the people should come and wash them in it. And before God and man, sir, sitting in front of me in that church was our church driver. When the man said he needs, 25 people, not 50. He said he needs 25 people to come and wash themselves. And I said anybody coming should come out with 250. I saw the driver stood up.
My God.
And the moment the man mentioned money, the guy sat down by. I said, the church is gone.
Yeah.
That's just what is happening, sir.
Yeah.
My bringing GO team from Redemption Camp to come and investigate my church really caused so much problem in my church, because then nobody knew who informed GO about what is happening in the church. So when I approached one of the elders of the church, I said, Daddy, I am the one that I sent text to GO that what is happening in this church is bad. My church has turned to, when a woman is coming to church with his bag, one of the members will tell him, you are going to church with your bag, because he will return to his car and lock it in the car, because they can tell you, sow a seed that when you are alone, you are crying.
When you are alone, you are crying. My God, oh. Painful.
So the elder just said, Ayo, you've done a good thing, but we can't talk. I said, Daddy, elder, they said they can't talk. Nobody can talk. Who is going to speak? Who is going to talk for all the members? Who is going to liberate all these people?
You see why I was explaining in the beginning, the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. That the culture of silence must be broken. That is why I'm always explaining.
They need to talk. Pastor Dila, that the people need to start speaking out. Because there was a day I was having an argument with my friend. I said, he was saying, this unbeliever, Daddy Freeze is on. I said, that man is a servant of God. When God called people, God sees their hearts. God is not looking at people. People look at people and just say, this person is this. But God sees the heart. I said that man is speaking.
They are calling him unbeliever, but God has chosen to bypass all their GOs, to bypass all their bishops.
I told them. I said that man is a servant of God. I've been trying to link up with him. In fact, when you started this program, Daddy, I just said, Lord, I'm sorry, because in my church they know me. They will say, if Brian is there, you better don't talk anything, because I'm going to be against it. I will tell them it is wrong. We can't do it that way. And then what happened that we left, Daddy? I will share it with everybody listening.
Yes.
And it happened in the Redeem.
Okay.
I've been married for 10 years. No issue with my wife.
Okay.
My wife was the head choir in the church.
Yes.
I was the zonal head of protocol, zonal head of sanitation. And then, when they brought the pastor...
They like to explore people's tragedies. They are experts in exploiting people's tragedy. They would milk you dry.
So when they brought the pastor, I felt that there are some people that always want to attack his authority. And I'm sure he labeled me as one, because I always tell him that I don't know. There's a name I used to call myself for Christ, something for Christ. So the man now said he posted us out. The first thing he did was call my wife and said, God said my wife should leave choir. My wife should go to children department.
Wow.
That my wife is not serious about the baby, and this is a choir that my wife has been. She's been leading for almost 8 years.
He started getting rid of you people.
Yes. So he said my wife should go to children. My wife was complaining. I said it's still part of the service in church. Go to children. My wife got to children. Was doing very well. All of a sudden, maybe he couldn't cope with what is happening anymore. He said he's sending us out of the parish. I told my wife, no problem. Only for him to come and meet us again at the next church that he posted us to. He said some people told him that I was raking when he posted me. I said rake. I said my wife. I didn't rake. And we didn't even say anything. And when he got there, he called all some people in the church.
But wait. What are you people talking about? What is posting? How can a pastor post me from the church I'm going to? Are you on their staff? Are you on their salary?
That's sometimes he will be threatening the members.
No. I never had that.
A pastor.
I never had that.
He will say they put fear in people. He said there was a pastor he posted in Lagos. The man refused to go to the place he posted him to. The man was driving with his only son, and they had an accident and they died.
Wait. Said, so how can pastors be posting church members? What is that? What do you mean post?
It's part of redeem way. They post you, and sometimes when they see that you are giving them too much problem in the church, they post you to another place. There was a particular pastor, sir, in Redeem. They brought him. When they brought him to the church, the guy started helping the church. We started praying. The prayer, the way we pray changed. He was a very vibrant pastor. And just because they made one of our pastors assistant provincial pastor, so they asked them to buy a new car for the man. And the man said, where do you want us to get the money to buy a car for this pastor? And the next thing, posting came. They posted this man. And when they posted the man, the church, every members of the church were angry. We approached the SA to GO for that region. And as we were talking, everything we said that day, I recorded everything on my phone. The man said, yes, we posted you away. That there was a man in one interior part of Abuja. The man, we felt we should compensate him with a big place. And they brought him to our church and removed this vibrant man and took him to where they were bringing the man.
Wow.
And the fact that the man was able to say they compensated that man. They are looking for what to compensate him. That's what is happening. They will post you to a place, you build the team with all your sweat and everything, and somebody just moving from nowhere, they want to compensate him and they take you away. I don't get it.
No, but if they are posting their pastors, ministers, staff who is on salary is one thing, which is also wrong, of course. But to now post you and your wife, what is that?
Well, I actually didn't leave because of that, because I can serve anywhere, but the rot in the church.
No, that mentality that I can serve everywhere. You know that it's not God they are making you to serve. They are making you to serve their system. They are making you to serve their egocentrism. They are making you to serve man. It is not God they are serving. They are idol. They are idol worshippers, these people.
It is fair, Pastor Adelaja.
I'm so encouraged by this because I don't even know these stories. It's like you have been in that system. In fact, you have to be calling to be opening my eyes more like this.
I so many things. I saw so many things that before I left, I saw so many things, and I just said no. I can't cope with this anymore. I can't cope with this, and I warned my mom. If you take this your money again, if you give anybody your money, I said you're a widow. We don't have father anymore. They are supposed to help you. And when my mom was with Winners at the age of 70, she was still a sanctuary keeper. I just believe she actually wanted to do that, and I was not against that. But now, taking from your sweat and giving to somebody that has 4 private jets, that whole schools that members cannot go.
Yeah.
Pastor Adelaja, there was somebody I argued with on Facebook. I said, North Korea is opening up now with peace agreements.
Yes.
No GO in Nigeria is thinking of sending missionary to North Korea to negotiate and send people there to win souls for Christ.
Yeah.
All our GO are busy flying private jets up and down. When people were moving from Libya, crossing into Europe, crossing into Australia, Germany, and what have you, no single Nigerian pastor send missionary to say, okay, go to Germany and wait for all these people crossing. Take good care of them. Feed them with the word. Win souls for Christ. Nobody is thinking that way. But when you mention tithes, you will see them. They will balance in front of TV. They will be defending tithes.
Money.
Nobody is talking of salvation.
Because that
Nobody
is their,
is talking of.
because that is their God. That is what they are worshiping. Money.
That is their. It's annoying, sir. It's really annoying. There are so many works to be done in Canada. Here, I still meet people that tell me there is no God.
Yeah.
I still meet people here that will tell you I'm not religious and I don't understand what you are saying. I still meet people, but what are we doing? Nothing. They are just there making the money. Go to CSC is their name that you see there. Their children's name will be the next of kin that you see there. And some people, when you talk, they will say you are attacking their GO, you are attacking their father, you are attacking this one. I don't know which father. There is no other father than God, though. There is no other father. Some people you can't talk about their church. I was arguing with some youth about their church, Koza in Abuja. Pastor Adelaja, I'm sure you didn't see this thing I'm going to tell you now. I'm sure you didn't see it on Facebook.
Okay.
It was really an eyesore to the kingdom of God. This Koza pastor invited a man from abroad with a private jet. And they line up girls, the church girls, in front of the private jet for the man to come down.
Are you serious?
It's on the. I'm going to search for the picture on Facebook if I'm able to get it. They line up the church girls, and the pastor came and I said, "What is the difference between this man and Wizkid? This pastor you are bringing to come and minister to people." And from the airport, one of the usher recorded the convoy from the airport up to Transcorp, even where the man of God will sleep. They show the bed, they show the bedroom, they show everything. I said, is this church?
It has become the den of Satan.
I told them, I said, they are not worshiping God anymore. They are worshiping Pastor Ibu. That's because now in their church, they are always talking about designer. This is the latest designer in town. And I said, you people discover yourself.
I'm sure that the person they are lining up the girls for might be the guy they call what they call the guy Mudok or something, Modok or something. That's
no, I don't whether it's Pastor Mudok, I don't. But it was a pastor, one black pastor from I'm sure it's from US.
It's a black one.
And
okay.
Yeah, it's a pastor from the US. I can't remember the man's name. But the fact that they line up girls by the side of the private jet was really what pissed me off. I said, this is the word.
But that's what they do in Hollywood now. They line up. They call girls or something. They call them. Is it called girls or escort girls? Escort girls.
Escort girls. That was what they did. They lined them up. On one side like 8 girls, on another side like 8 girls. And the man was walking there. I just said,
the man must be very satisfied. They will keep on coming to Nigeria with, you know, where they have sheep easy and, you know, escort girls.
Yeah. Pastor Adelaja, it is well. Just keep on the good work, sir. I know most people will say you are attacking. You are not attacking. You are just refreshing people's memory and trying to enlighten people. There are so many people in the dark.
Yeah.
So many people in the dark that they just need to just wake up and just say, oh, I've been in the dark. This is the light. Let me accept the light. But
yeah.
that is just what most people at this point in time, that is what they need. And I am 100% in support of what you are doing. To some people, they say you are attacking, you are rubbishing the image. You are not. One person was telling me, when I went to visit, I was in UK to see my wife. And she said, she called me one morning, she said, please, I don't want you to talk about men of God anymore. I said, I will not stop. I said, I will not stop. I said, then Paul was writing to so many people. I said, Paul was telling them, this thing is right, this one is wrong. I said, if Paul was not doing that then I can say I won't talk. Because most people will say, leave them to God. We can't leave them to God. They will rubbish this Christianity. They will rubbish it in a way that nobody will accept it anymore. Nobody will accept it anymore. Nobody. We need to cry out. We need to cry out. Pastor Adelaja, my submission, sir. My submission, because it's really bad.
They said the new thing that is reigning now is that they are announcing in all the churches in Nigeria that nobody is allowed to film or to take video because of the Pastor Adelaja, so that he will not get our video and do any video about us.
Yeah, they are scared of their bad ways. That's why if they are doing the right thing, nobody will come out to say, don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
But and again, I think we need to be praying for them as well. For those ones that want to repent, but for those that they see this money as their cash cow, the only thing that brings in more money to them, we just need to be praying for them. Well, nobody is asking for them to be ridiculed, but it's just for them to say the truth.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pastor.
Thank you, sir.